Welcome back to Days of Today. We will learn about the intricate romantic dynamics between Salem's most volatile yet passionate couple, Xander Cook and Sarah Horton, as their tumultuous marriage teeters on the precipice of either complete destruction or miraculous redemption. The separation that shook Salem's foundation. The legendary love story between Xander Cook, Paul Telfer, and his devoted wife Sarah Horton, Lindsay Godfrey, has reached what many consider to be its most precarious crossroads in years. Their current separation represents not merely a temporary marital discord, but rather the longest period these soulmates have spent apart since their initial romantic entanglement began to captivate Salem residents and viewers alike. However, beneath the surface of their seemingly irreconcilable differences lies an undercurrent of unresolved passion and deep-seated emotional dependency that suggests their story is far from its final chapter. Industry insiders with intimate knowledge of the show's upcoming narrative arcs have confidentially revealed that the couple's highly anticipated reconciliation will unfold in spectacular fashion before the upcoming holiday season arrives. This tantalizing timeline creates an urgent sense of anticipation as fans eagerly speculate about the specific catalysts that will ultimately draw these star-crossed lovers back into each other's arms, despite the seemingly insurmountable obstacles currently standing between them. The complexity of their relationship dynamic extends far beyond surface-level disagreements, rooted instead in fundamental questions about trust, forgiveness, and the possibility of genuine personal transformation. Sarah's recent discovery of Xander's violent confrontation with her brother Philip has created what appears to be an irreparable fracture in their marital foundation. Yet experienced Salem watchers recognize that this couple has weathered far more devastating storms in their romantic journey together. Legal limbo and parental priorities. Currently existing in a state of legal separation that feels more like emotional purgatory, Sarah and Xander find themselves navigating the treacherous waters of co-parenting their beloved daughter Victoria, while simultaneously wrestling with their own unresolved romantic feelings. This delicate balancing act requires them to maintain regular contact and cooperation, creating countless opportunities for both conflict and reconciliation to emerge organically within their daily interactions. Despite their official separated status, reliable sources within Salem's inner circles have indicated that a formal divorce proceeding remains highly unlikely, at least not during this particular storyline arc. The underlying reason for this legal hesitancy stems from a truth that every longtime resident of Salem recognizes instinctively. The profound and enduring love between Sarah and Xander continues to burn beneath their current animosity, creating an invisible bond that neither legal documents nor angry words can truly sever. The historical precedent for forgiveness within their relationship provides compelling evidence for optimism regarding their future reconciliation prospects. Sarah has previously demonstrated remarkable capacity for pardoning Xander's transgressions, including far more egregious violations of trust than his recent physical altercation with Philip. Most notably, she forgave him for the devastating baby switch incident, where Xander's misguided attempt to protect Sarah from grief led him to replace her supposedly deceased infant with another child, believing this deception represented the most compassionate course of action available. This particular betrayal involved not only the manipulation of Sarah's maternal instincts, but also the prolonged perpetuation of a lie that struck at the very core of her identity as a mother. Yet Sarah's eventual forgiveness of this profound violation suggests that her current anger over the Philip situation, while intense and justified, may not represent an insurmountable barrier to their eventual reconciliation. The psychology of reconciliation. The fundamental question that looms over their separation concerns which partner will ultimately demonstrate the emotional maturity and vulnerability necessary to initiate the reconciliation process. Will Xander's ongoing therapy sessions with the renowned Dr. Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall, provide him with the psychological insights and anger management tools necessary to approach Sarah with genuine contrition and a credible plan for personal transformation? Xander's therapeutic journey represents a crucial element in his potential redemption arc, as his sessions with Marlena could help him understand the deep-rooted abandonment issues and rejection trauma that fuel his volatile behavioral patterns. The anger management component of his treatment specifically addresses the violent tendencies that have repeatedly sabotaged his relationships and created legitimate safety concerns for those around him. Alternatively, Sarah herself might experience the emotional clarity needed to recognize that her husband, despite his obvious flaws and dangerous impulses, represents her one true romantic destiny. The possibility of Sarah taking the initiative in their reconciliation would represent a refreshing departure from traditional soap opera gender dynamics, where the male protagonist typically assumes the pursuer role in relationship repair scenarios. Meanwhile, Brady Black's Eric Martsolf, increasingly persistent romantic overtures towards Sarah introduce a compelling wild card into their relationship equation. Brady's growing boldness in expressing his interest creates additional pressure and urgency around the timing of any potential Xander-Sarah reunion, as prolonged separation increases the risk of Sarah developing genuine feelings for her would-be suitor. The irony of Brady's romantic interference lies in its potential to actually accelerate Sarah's recognition of her true feelings for Xander. Sometimes the prospect of losing something forever, or seeing it claimed by another, provides the emotional clarity necessary to appreciate its irreplaceable value. Sarah's comparison between Brady's stable, predictable affection and Xander's passionate, unpredictable devotion could ultimately highlight why she fell in love with her volatile husband in the first place. Redemption through action. For Xander's redemption to achieve maximum dramatic impact and emotional authenticity, it will likely require more than mere verbal apologies or promises of behavioral modification. The most compelling path toward reconciliation involves Xander demonstrating his personal growth through concrete actions that directly address Sarah's specific concerns about his character and judgment. Several potential scenarios could provide Xander with the heroic opportunity he needs to prove his worthiness. A dramatic rescue situation involving their daughter Victoria would create the perfect storm of parental instinct, personal courage, and selfless devotion that could remind Sarah of the man she fell in love with beneath his troubled exterior. Similarly, an act of unexpected kindness or protection directed toward Philip, the very person he recently attacked, would demonstrate genuine remorse and character growth in the most meaningful way possible. The possibility of Xander saving Maggie Horton-Kiriakis, Suzanne Rogers, or even Sarah herself from some form of danger would create the ideal circumstances for their emotional walls to crumble simultaneously. High-stakes situations have a way of stripping away pretense and revealing core truths about relationships, making such scenarios particularly effective catalysts for romantic reconciliation. However, the most intriguing possibility involves Sarah herself taking the initiative in their reconciliation process. This scenario would require her to overcome her pride and disappointment to approach Xander with genuine vulnerability and acknowledgement of her own role in their marital breakdown. A heartfelt confession of her mistake in concealing Philip's deception, combined with recognition of Xander's ongoing efforts towards self-improvement, could provide the foundation for rebuilding their relationship on more honest and solid ground. The ultimate success of their reunion will depend on both partners demonstrating growth and maturity. Sarah must learn to trust in Xander's capacity for change while also accepting responsibility for her own deceptive choices. Xander must prove that his love for Sarah and Victoria provides sufficient motivation for sustained behavioral modification, not merely temporary performance for reconciliation purposes. Part 2: Unlove Old Drama. The teen triangle that's turning Salem upside down. For longtime viewers of Days of Our Lives, family sagas, forbidden romances, and scandalous affairs are nothing new. Salem has always been a place where secrets thrive and passions burn, and the younger generation is now carrying on that tradition in their own dramatic way. The teen love triangle that has been slowly unfolding over the past year has captured the attention of fans everywhere. What began as a simple story of high school crushes has transformed into a tangled web of betrayal, heartbreak, and fresh beginnings. The central players in this story are Holly Jonas, Ashley Puzimis, Tate Black, Jamie Martin-Mann, and Sophia Choi, Rachel Boyd. But as with all good Salem stories, nothing ever stays simple for long. Unexpected departures, surprise pregnancies, and new characters returning to town have stirred the pot, and now fans are asking, what's next for these teens, and where does Ari Horton, Marissa Reyes fit into all of this? Salem High Sweethearts. When friendship turns into betrayal, the drama began innocently enough at Salem High. Holly, the daughter of Nicole Walker and a character who has already experienced more than her fair share of heartache for someone her age, was happily dating Tate, son of Teresa Donovan and Brady Black. For a time, they looked like a picture-perfect young couple, hopeful, wide-eyed, and perhaps destined to repeat the same mistakes of their parents. But trouble soon arrived in the form of Sophia, Holly's best friend. Sophia wasn't just a side character in this story. She quickly revealed herself to be ambitious, manipulative, and far more complicated than she first appeared. Her feelings for Tate grew stronger, and instead of respecting her friendship with Holly, Sophia crossed the line. She seduced Tate, broke up his relationship with Holly, and in a shocking twist, became pregnant with his child. This betrayal cut Holly deeply. It wasn't just about losing Tate. It was about losing a friend she thought she could trust. Salem has seen its share of betrayals, but this one carried a particular sting because of the youth and innocence of the people involved. Suddenly, 3 teenagers found themselves entangled in a storyline that mirrored the messy love triangles of their parents' generation. A brief distraction, Holly looks to Doug 3. Just when it seemed the triangle was about to explode, Holly's attention shifted. She began spending more time with Doug Williams III, Peyton Meyer, the grandson of one of Salem's most beloved legacy characters. Holly saw Doug as a kind-hearted friend, someone she could lean on during her difficult moments. But Doug's feelings for her were far from platonic. In true Salem fashion, Doug's unrequited love created yet another layer of drama. Things became even messier when Ari Horton entered the picture and quickly became romantically involved with Doug. For a brief moment, it appeared a new triangle might form: Holly, Doug, and Ari. But fate had other plans. Doug, weighed down by the hurt and mistakes he had made, decided to leave Salem behind. His exit was bittersweet, reminding viewers that sometimes the only way to heal is to start fresh somewhere new. His departure left Holly back at square one, still tied to Tate through old feelings and facing the constant presence of Sophia, who refused to step aside despite the challenges of impending motherhood. The question of Ari: where does she belong? While the Holly-Tate-Sophia triangle has taken center stage for months, many fans have started to wonder what all of this means for Ari Horton. The daughter of Will Horton and Gabby Hernandez, Ari has grown up in a household surrounded by drama, scandal, and love stories that defy expectation. It's only natural that she would eventually find herself at the center of her own romantic storyline. So far, Ari has remained somewhat on the sidelines of the drama. But longtime viewers know Salem doesn't allow anyone to stay in the background for long. Ari's independence and strong-willed nature mean she won't simply watch others fall in and out of love without eventually joining the game herself. The real question is, who will capture her heart? And will she bring stability or even more chaos to the story? A new arrival. Could Aaron be the answer? This week, a fresh face may provide Ari with the opportunity to step into her own love story. On Monday, September 1st, Aaron, played by Louis Tomeo, makes his return to Salem. Fans will remember Aaron as the younger brother of a prominent Salem family. His reappearance is timely, coinciding with his plans to reunite with his sisters and begin classes at Salem University alongside the rest of the teenage set. It remains unclear how well Ari and Aaron know each other. Perhaps they were childhood acquaintances who lost touch, or maybe their paths are crossing for the first time. What is certain, however, is that Salem's history suggests their meeting will be anything but ordinary. When the two find themselves caught in a difficult and unexpected situation over the weekend, sparks may begin to fly. For Ari, who has so far been an observer of Holly's chaos, Aaron could represent a fresh start, a chance to step out of the shadow of her friend's messy entanglements and find something real and meaningful for herself. But Salem never allows love to bloom without obstacles. Viewers can expect challenges, rivalries, and misunderstandings to complicate matters before Ari and Aaron can even think about a happily ever after. Looking ahead, a new generation, familiar patterns. What makes this teen storyline so compelling is how it echoes the past while carving out a future of its own. The parents of these young characters, Nicole, Brady, Teresa, Will, and Gabby, all experienced similar triangles, heartbreaks, and betrayals in their youth. It's almost as if Salem itself insists on repeating history, generation after generation. For older fans, watching these stories unfold may feel like watching history repeat itself with a new cast of characters. The faces are younger, the technology is modern, but the emotions, love, jealousy, betrayal, and hope, remain timeless. These are the same themes that have kept Days of Our Lives alive and thriving for over half a century. The Holly, Tate, Sophia saga is far from over. With a baby on the way, unresolved feelings between Holly and Tate, and Sophia's refusal to let go, this triangle promises even more drama in the weeks ahead. Meanwhile, Ari and Aaron's budding storyline may offer a refreshing counterbalance. A reminder that even in Salem, sometimes young love can blossom in unexpected and heartwarming ways. Final thoughts. As the fall season begins, fans of Days of Our Lives can look forward to an exciting mix of youthful passion and classic Salem drama. Whether you're invested in Holly's choices, Sophia's schemes, Tate's torn loyalties, or Ari's possible new romance with Aaron, one thing is certain. Salem's next generation is more than ready to carry the torch of drama, love, and scandal.